Bridge schedules. Activate a roaming plan. Play Shake to win for cool prizes. So don't worry about a data plan, buddy. Download the My Digicel app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store today. Digicel, better together.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good evening. Time check for you, 19 hours 1. My name is Amrita Koshal and it is now time for your nightly newscast. With the 2022 budget being the first to utilize monies from proceeds from the oil sector, Minister within the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, announced that government estimates are spending some $552.9 billion this year. Dr. Singh lamented not only the international developments that would have impacted economies across the world, but the local realities, including what he called the most severe flood in recent memory, which decimated some sectors. To this end, he sought to explain that, like all commodity exporting nations, Guyana remains particularly susceptible to global price fluctuations as evidenced by significant swings in our export earnings across some commodities in 2021. Moving on, we now tell you that if calculated at $60 a barrel, U.S. oil conglomerate Hess Corporation is poised to make approximately $1.4 billion from guaranteed lifts from the Liza Phase 1 and Liza Phase 2 projects this year. During the company's 2021 fourth quarter earnings call yesterday, Hess's Chief Financial Officer John Riley for the full year of 2022 said, quote unquote, "We expect 24 lifts in Guyana. If oil prices at each time of lift and sale is above $60, Hess is expected to rake in over $2 billion in earnings comfortably." Post the startup of the Liza Phase 2 development, he was keen to note that the company intends to pay off the remaining $500 million on its term loan and increase its dividend. And on that note, we now tell you that Hess Corporation on Wednesday disclosed during its fourth quarter earnings call for 2021, the 6 drill ships have been deployed to various parts of the Stabroek Block to define and test more oil wells. The company said this comes on the heels of the 2 significant finds made earlier this year by ExxonMobil's affiliate and operator of the block, EEPGL. The finds are so considerable that Rystad Energy, an international consultancy group, estimates that together the 2 discoveries, Fangtooth and Lau Lau alone, could hold 500 million barrels of oil resources. In other stories, we now tell you that after holding on to the post of leader of the opposition for more than 2 weeks, even after members of the PNCR publicly stated that they preferred newly elected leader of the party, Mr. Aubrey Norton, over him, opposition member of Parliament Joseph Harman has finally tendered his resignation. This development was announced moments ago by Speaker of the National Assembly Mansour Nadir during the 36th sitting of the 12th Parliament. Meanwhile, APNU's Chief Whip, Mr. Christopher Jones, has mentioned to the Speaker that the coalition will indicate at a later date a time to convene a meeting for the election of a new opposition leader. Time check for you, 19 hours 5. We will return with more news for you shortly after the break.
Diana, join me on the Glenn Lal Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast at 11 a.m. The Glenn Lal Show only on Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 and 99.5 FM. And now back with more news in detail.
Hess Corporation, which holds a 30% stake in the Stabroek block, announced on Tuesday that its 2022 exploration and production budget totals $2.6 billion. Approximately 80% will be allocated to its major prospects in Guyana and the USA. Expounding further, Hess said it plans to spend $1 billion on its Guyana projects, with $25 million going towards the Eliza Phase 1 development on the Stabroek block, where production optimization work is planned in the first quarter of 2022. We understand that $190 million will go towards the Liza Phase 2 development, and production is expected in the first quarter of 2022. Also, $400 million has been budgeted for the Payara development, with a capacity of approximately 220,000 gross barrels of oil per day, and first production expected in 2024. It was also noted that $210 million for the Yellowtail development, with a capacity of approximately 250,000 gross barrels of oil per day, and this project, has said, is scheduled to commence in 2025. In other stories, we tell you that NARI on Tuesday announced that ExxonMobil's partner, EEPGL, intends to implement a high-speed fiber optic wireless transport service for its Guyana onshore and offshore facilities, which requires the installation of a submarine fiber optic cable connecting the offshore EEPGL facilities to onshore network services, and will therefore require the removal of some 240 square meters of mangroves and cordgrass, along with some of the riprap boulders that currently form part of the sea defense structure at Ogle, East Coast Demerara. It added that once EEPGL has wrapped up its operations, it plans to restore the mangroves, cordgrass, and other sea defense infrastructure along the disrupted shoreline. The Institute assured that it would be monitoring the removal of the mangroves and cordgrass, as well as the subsequent restoration of the area, to mitigate the impact on the emerging mangrove fringe at Ogle. And finally, the National Assembly on Monday evening approved a motion by the senior minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance, Dr. Ashni Singh, for the Parliamentary Committee on Appointments to recommend nominees to serve on two boards governing the Natural Resource Fund. Dr. Singh noted that a nominee from the House will sit on the Board of Directors as stipulated by the Act, while another will serve on the Public Accountability and Oversight Committee. Minister Singh emphasized further that the government was clear in its intention to ensure that there was full transparency and accountability in terms of transfer of funds from the NRF to the Consolidated Fund, as this would be scrutinized fully by the National Assembly during every step of the way. Time check for you, 19 hours 9. My name is Amrita Koshal, and this was your nightly newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.